Welcome, my name is Janneke and today we're going to do the hot yoga sequence that at Yoga Moves we normally practice in 40 degrees and now today in the comfort of your own home. Today I have with me Marielle, so we are able to show you different variations of the poses. What you need is your yoga mat and 2 blocks, one at the front end, one at the back end of your mat, and then make your way into child's pose. Child's pose, where you place the toes together, knees a little bit apart. And as you allow your bum to sink to your heels, let the forehead rest, either on your hands or on the floor, closing the eyes. And then let's take 3 breaths together. In through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, gently release. Again, in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Last one, inhale. And exhale, release. Closing the mouth in and exhale through the nose as you reach your arms forward, palms flat on the floor. Coming up to a tabletop position. Position your knees underneath the hips and the hands underneath the shoulders. Cat-cow. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Pull your chin to your chest, your tailbone to the floor. Again, inhale, arch. And exhale, round, pressing down, lifting up from in between the shoulder blades. Last one, inhale, arch, drawing the shoulder blades together. And exhale, round. And then as you lengthen your spine, curl your toes into the mat and press up to downward facing dog. Now, since this is a wrist-like sequence, and if you want to keep it that way, then already walk your feet to the front of the mat. 3 breaths here. If you're in your down dog, just maybe walk your dog, lengthening the back of the legs, sim to the forward fold. And if you're in down dog, then walk your feet to the front of the mat. Bend the knees a lot. As you have your feet hip distance, press in the feet to slowly roll up. Lower back first, then the middle back. And at one point the legs start to lengthen as the upper body comes all the way up. Head lifts. And release the shoulders back and down. Coming into your mountain pose position with the feet hip distance underneath the bony part of your hips. And the feet make a parallel number 11. You start to stack the bones on top of each other, so hips over the heels, shoulders over hips, and the crown reaching up, ears over the shoulders. This base pose where we always press down and lengthen at the same time, it's the base pose we go back to every time again, finding our inner alignment. Let's start our breathing practice. Inhale through the nose, arms go sideways and up. As you exhale through the mouth, hands go through the center and all the way down. In a slow and steady pace, we continue. Inhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue 3 more. Inhale. So if you're feeling that you're challenged in this rhythm, let that be okay, as we want to open up and expand the breath, while at the same time, on the exhale, grounding you down, rooting down, strong base. Last 2, in silence. And out. Last one. Take a last bit of air in. Exhale. Pressing all the air out. Side stretch. Inhale, right arm comes up. And as you keep rooting down, create a length to come up and over to your left. Now, Marielle is showing that you can also use both arms up. But if your shoulders a little bit tense this morning, then please let the left arm release down. Hand can always be on the hip. Breathing all the way to the right side of the body. Finding that root into the feet. While at the same time the arches of the feet lift up and give you that length for one last breath here. Inhale, you come up. Either change hands or let the right arm go back down. Left arm comes up. Lengthen. And then move up and over to your right. Now imagine your spine, the center, inner axe of your body. Opening up on the sides. Waking up the spine. While at the same time you keep that steady base. Rooting down while lifting up. Inhale, come all the way up. Release the arms down, mountain pose. So arms alongside the body, your gaze straight ahead. Every time sticking your bones back on top of each other. Maybe slightly leaning back. Now keep that weight into the back as you place your hands onto the hips. Elbows reach and point to the back. And then from there, keeping the belly and the chest start to lift, you open up into your back bend. So you're not pressing the hips forward. And you keep that pubic bone lifting up. And even when it's just physically little, it might feel like a lot. Keep the weight into the heels. Next inhale, come up. Hands on the hips, bend the knees and fold forward. Place the belly on your thighs. Hold onto your big toes with your thumb, pointer finger, middle finger. Rolling the shoulders back up. Space into the neck. You lengthen the spine. And as you press into the feet, the bum lifts up. Thighs become active. And as you pull slightly on the big toe, this will give you resistance to keep lifting the shoulders away from the ears and the elbows bent out to the side. Now, belly close to the thighs. And at the same time, it hugs into the back body. And also, there's quite a bit of effort here. The legs strong. But still enjoy that root of the foot. And the lift from the arch up to the hips. Let go of the big toes as you bend your knees a lot. Place the hands on the hips. And then press yourself up to standing. Mountain pose, arms alongside the body. Reset, digest. Chair pose, arms forward. Let your palms face each other. And then keep the weight into the heels as you start to bend the knees and the bum sinks to the back. The spine stays long. The thighs have to work. The bum has to work. And then the same thing as you root down. There's some lift. That lift that will help you to keep the chest slightly lifted. Stay here for one more breath. Hold the pose. And then as you press yourself all the way up, mountain pose, arms alongside the body. And then turn a quarter to your right. And as you take a big step, you're facing the long side of the mat, hands onto your hips. We're going to start towards the left with the warrior two. So turn your left leg all the way out. Shift your right heel away from you. And as you bend your right knee, warrior two stands, arms level to the floor. Let's move. Inhale, arms long, arms up. Exhale, bending the left knee, warrior two. Two more. Inhale, from the feet, you lift up, everything to the center. And as you exhale, you expand back out. Last one, inhale, lifting up. Keep that compact feeling as you exhale, bending the left knee, arms wide. Hot triangle pose, reach forward, tilt from the hips. And then either the elbow onto the thigh with the right arm up, or both arms extended. You can find your own variation and deepen based on the intensity level that you're looking for. So if you're into the modified version, even your right hand can rest onto your hip. So wherever you are, keep the chest nice and open, the legs strong, and still feel how from that rooting down, there's a lift and a sense of lightness. Now, if you are with the arms extended, place your right hand onto your hip, look down to the right foot, and then slowly step a little bit forward. Left foot. As you hold on the block with your left hand, stepping into your half moon pose. So right leg lifts up. And if you have this space and opening in the torso, right arm up to the sky. Now, it's important to place the block underneath the shoulder, a little bit in line with the little toe, so you have the possibility to find resistance in the stability. Not the resistance, there is resistance. But see, if possible, that you can do without the block. Now, always okay to modify. Keep pressing into the left foot, reaching the crown forward. And whenever ready, start to bend the right knee, keep breathing, and then step the left foot far back. Warrior 2, arms wide. Keep the arms up as we change sides, so lengthen the left leg. As we turn all the way to the right, right leg turns out. Left heel, really shift that away. This way the left foot points more forward as you bend the right knee and sit in your warrior 2. Let's move. Inhale, arms up, legs long. Exhale, bend your right knee and sit. 2 more. Inhale, lift up. And exhale. Now really imagine that you hug everything to the center line as you lift up. Keep it compact as you exhale, bending the knee, arms wide. Transition hot triangle, tilt from the hips, reach forward. And then either elbow on the thigh with the left arm up or hand onto the hip. Or deepen. So you can extend both arms. And imagine that in whatever shape you are, that the root of your left foot is what gives you the length back up. The right hip bone reaches in that same direction as the left heel is pressing into. Okay, we're preparing for the balance pose. So if your arms are up, place the right hand onto the hip. Look down to the right foot. As you step a little forward, grab your block with your right hand and lift up. So it might be that the block needs to be repositioned a little bit. Press both feet. So both the right as well as the left. Keep breathing. If there's space, lifting the left arm up to the sky. One more breath. Maybe don't use the block. If you feel like going forward, just lift up and carry all the weight with your right foot. And slowly bend the knee as you land back into your warrior 2, arms wide. Now keep your arms like this as you lengthen both legs, turning the toes to the long side of the mat, placing the hands onto the hips. Roll your shoulders forward, up, exhaling back and down. Now bend the knees a little, check your feet to see if the toes are in one line and parallel. And with that slight bend in the knees, it helps you to keep the length in the spine and slowly start to fold forward. Keeping the elbows pointing up to the ceiling. And at one point, maybe placing the hands underneath the shoulders on the floor. Lifting the chest again to create length. And if there's space, lengthen the legs by keeping the thighs active. You can fold all the way. But see where the space in your body is today. So if you feel a quite sharp pulling sensation in the knees or in the bum, keep the knees a little bent. Keep also the spine then nice and long, wherever you are. And the breath, even, smooth, fluid. Now as you keep pressing into the feet, hug your sit bones a little together. As you bend your knees, lift the chest, hands onto the hips, and press yourself up to standing. Interlace the hands behind the buttocks. We're going to do a second variation. Lengthen the arms, chest is open. But as you lengthen the arms, keep the lower ribs connected to the hip bones. Again, first start with a slight bend into the knees, as it will help you to bend from the hips forward. As the crown is facing the floor, the hands start to reach up to the ceiling. Maybe lift the chest once more to see if you want to extend the legs and fold all the way. So it doesn't mean that you're rounding and collapsing into the shapes. So that spine, that center line is still the place where you find length. And knees can be bent as much as needed. And with now an added opening in the front of the shoulders. Imagining that the hands are not only lifting up but slightly pulled up. One more breath. Feel both feet, front, back, left, right. Press into the feet. Let it lift you up halfway. Hands again onto the hips, bend the knees, and press yourself all the way up. Now as you keep your hands on the hips, step your feet together. Hip distance, arms alongside the body. Mountain pose. Moment to reset and digest. And we're going to continue with the balance poses. Tree pose on the right side. So hands onto the hips. Bringing the right knee forward and out. As you place the foot against the inside of the leg. And this can be all the way down to the ankle as well. Hands together in front of the heart. And then see if you can keep the shoulders slightly away from the ears as the chest stays wide, the belly stays compact. And especially in balance poses, you need that root as well as the length back up. Now, as you feel the length, maybe as Mariella is showing, you can extend the arms up to the sky. And that length that you feel starts from the arches of the feet while you keep pressing down and then creates length on the back body. Back of the legs while the tailbone stays rooting down towards the floor. Back body, back shoulders, back of the head, crown. Place the hands together in front of the heart. Bring your right knee forward. Extend the leg out like pressing something heavy away. Either high up if you have the flexibility, but you can always keep your knees bent. For 3, 2, 1. And bend the knee, feet together, hands on the hips, other side. Left knee lifts up. Turn the knee out to the side and place the foot against the inside of the leg. And as soon as you do so, don't allow it to bring you out of your center. So bring your hip back in as you place your hands in front of that heart, representing that inner line. Go back to your base, sole of the foot. Maybe from there, find the length, and if that helps you to extend the arms up, then do so. With extending the arms up, turn your pinkies forward, thumbs back, so the palms are facing each other, helping you in the rotation of the shoulder that help to find that length. The back, the side, the front. Staying here, 2 more breaths. Last one. As you exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Bring the left knee forward. Extend the leg out. So you stay long on the back. And then 3. Hold. Keep breathing. 2. 1. Bend the knee. Feet together. Arms alongside. Mountain pose. Reset. Digest. No need to move or do anything. That's the beauty of this shape. eagle pose. Right leg. So feet can be together. Inhale, arms all the way up. And then as your right arm goes down, bring it underneath. Interlace the arms, palms maybe together. Depending on the size of the breast, it might sometimes help to bring the hands onto the shoulders. Lift the elbows up. Bend the knees and come and sit, chair pose. Right leg up, over, thighs cross, and as the foot hooks behind the calf or places the toes onto the floor, you sit down into your eagle pose. So everything is wrapped together. And because everything is wrapped together, maybe you feel a nice stretch in the back body. Well, at the same time, there's light and lift on the front. We're going to move through a warrior 3 from here. So keep the arms in eagle arms as you lift the right knee up. Extending the right leg back, pressing the right foot back. You might be okay staying here with your eagle arms or opening up the arms out to the side, reaching the arms forward or alongside the body. And you can stay as high up with the chest as like, or going into a full T-shaped position. Keep the breath going. And then wherever you are, start bending the left knee so you can step the right foot far back. Now if your arms were still in eagle position, bring the arms all the way up so you can reset. As you exhale, hands together in front of the heart. So we're in this high lunge position. If you want to modify, bring the right knee down to the floor, maybe hands on top of the thigh. And then first start by resetting the hips. So you press back while the right hip moves more forward, finding the stretch on the front of the right thigh and hip flexor. Same. If you feel that creates space to lengthen the arms up, go for it. Allowing you to extend into a small back bend. While at the same time, hips stay compact. Maybe this starts to bring up the heat in the body. Then allow it to be there and embrace it. It's a way to clean your channels. One more breath. Whichever variation you're in, place the hands down to the floor and step the right foot forward, forward fold. Bend the knees, slowly roll up, lower back, middle back, upper back. Start to lengthen the legs as the head lifts, shoulders lift. Exhale back and down. We go to the other side, feet together, arms up. And then the left arm underneath the right, interlacing again, finding the position for the arms for you as you lift the elbows up, bending the knees to come and sit. Don't forget to first feel the soles of the feet, letting you lift the crown as you then lift the left leg up, over, thighs cross, the ankle behind the calf or maybe against it, or the toe onto the floor. My personal preference. This way, it's not necessarily only about the balance, but about keeping the knees facing forward, keeping the arms facing forward, creating length in the spine. Maybe some slight stretch into the back of the shoulders, while your eyes pretend that they can see through the arms. Transition to warrior 3, keeping the arms as is as you lift the left leg up. Extend the left leg. This can be high, this can be low. And see if the arms want to move open like big wings. Extending them forward alongside the ears or next to the body, and the fingers in the same direction as the left foot. And so you have your balancing foot, you have the foot that is floating, but both of them are doing the same. They press and they lift back up. Slowly transition into your lunge. So bending the right knee, stepping the left foot far back, reaching the arms all the way up, giving you space, and hands together in front of the heart. Maybe modify by placing the knee down. If that's the case, make sure that there's enough space between foot and knee. Wherever you are, root first, ground down first. Let that lift you up either in an extended left leg and maybe even the arms up to the ceiling. For the full version, you might feel how that creates space on the front of the thigh, the chest, the heart, armpits, arms, preparing us for the peak of this series, the dancer's pose. One more breath. Hands to the front of the mat. Step your back foot forward, forward fold. This time we go up a little different. So as you lift the chest, place the hands onto the hips, bend the knees, and with a straight spine, press yourself all the way up to standing. Mountain pose, arms alongside the body. And that mountain pose, that home base. Really stand there, be present. And there we go. Dancer's pose, so placing the feet together, starting on the right side, bringing the arms all the way up. And as the left hand stays up, right hand comes down, so it can hold onto the ankle. And you can hold it onto the outside or the inside, but then make sure that the shoulder opens. Thumb is pointing to the back, bringing the knee back in to the midline, the foot as well. And you lengthen as you press the right foot back and up. This in itself is already dancer's pose. You can deepen by pressing the foot further back as much as the space in the front of the right hip allows. The chest will come a little forward. The left arm can reach. And we stay here where it is a back bend, heart opener. But starting from the base, that same thing that we've practiced in every single shape. Growing your roots with every asana, every posture. Helping you to also experience a lightness, softness. And then as you come all the way up, bring the right knee forward, up, both arms up. Exhale, feet down, arms alongside the body. Other side, last side, arms up. Left arm down to the foot, bending the left leg so you can hold onto your ankle. Inside, outside, works for your shoulder. Bring everything back into the center line. So this is the shape. Already here you find opening of the front. And if there's more space, start to press the left foot back and up. And so there is the resistance of the left arm, left hand. Left arm that is long, but the left leg that has to put in the effort. The chest is opening, the hips are opening. But there's still the extension. From foot to crown, from foot to hand. As we stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then as you lift back up, left knee comes up, arms extend. Exhaling, you release down, stand in your mountain pose. Letting the shoulders maybe drop away from the ears. Your breath smooth and fluid. Counter pose to dancer's pose is pyramid pose, so hands onto the hips. Your feet are on train tracks, so they're not glued together. And then as you step your right foot back, like a meter or so, the heel far back, right toes to the right corner of the mat. The hips sort of scissoring together as you lengthen both legs. Now, so again, finding the center line as you inhale, the arms come up. Hook your thumb, and then start to roll down. So the first thing is the hands and the crown of the head. You need to keep the rooting into the feet. That can help you to keep the hips compact. And then once you're diving down, like a dolphin, and the hands at one point touch the floor. Maybe you need to take a block. Even bend the left knee. For some that is needed, for others not. So checking your body. And at one point, you want to feel how the front is really pulled and drawn in to the back, giving all your organs a squeeze, helping you to counter that back bend of dancer's pose, where the concept is the same. You press into the feet, and you hug and lift back up. To come out, make sure you lengthen the legs and strengthen the legs. Hook your thumb backs together, keeping the belly drawn into the back, rounding up bit by bit, all the way until the head and the arms are up to the ceiling. Step the right foot forward and release the arms alongside the body. Hands onto the hips for the other side, stepping the left foot back. And then the heel is in, so the toes to the left corner of the mat, lengthening both legs. So you press in the feet, you hug back together. Sides waist are long as you reach the arms up. Hook your thumbs and then start to dive back down. And do this in your own pace. Same modification as the other side, and notice if the hips have enough space. Might be that you want to step your foot a little out so the feet are slightly wider. And bend the right knee as much as you need to facilitate that compact feeling without pulling on the hamstring in such a place that it cannot facilitate at this moment. And once down in pyramid pose, it's quite tempting, or so I find so myself, to just go. So see if you can keep it snug. That's quite a strong shape, compact shape. So right hip wants to move back, left hip wants to move forward. And because of that opposite direction, the belly is a regulating action of hugging in, rounding the spine. From that rounding you go back up. So it's truly rounding with the chin to the chest. The ears stay in between the arms. You press in the feet, keep the hips compact as you lift all the way up. And then step forward, arms alongside the body. Last mountain pose. How does this one feel compared to one of the first ones? If you'd like to stay a little longer, then feel free to do so. Otherwise, step the feet out wider. Toes turn slightly out as the feet are as wide as the mat. Bend the knees so you can come and sit. Yogi squat. In the squat, you can take your blocks, if needed, to support your ankles. Then place the blocks in what I like to call an upside down V. Might be too complicated if you don't see it from above, but then make sure that you support the heels as if you're walking on high heels. Pressing the hands together. Elbows on the inside of the knees. Another solution for this one, if the knees aren't happy and the ankles aren't happy, is to sit down. You still have your elbows inside. And then breathe, keeping the spine nice and long. I once read the key to happiness is to be present in transitions. Well, this is a transitioning pose from the standing to the floor poses. So can you be present here? And then make your way onto hands and knees. So from the squat, hands in front of you onto the floor. Back to the tabletop position. And then lower down onto the elbows. The palms can be flat on the floor, you interlace them. Walking the knees a little back. Shoulders stay over the elbows. And you already find yourself in a low plank. Now either stay here or curl the toes into the mat and go to a full elbow plank. And then make sure that it's one long line. From the heels to the crown, lifting a little up from inside the shoulder blades. So it isn't mountain pose on its side. There's something different happening into the hips that tilt slightly back. So that compact feeling that we worked on before is the same here. It lifts back up to the back body. Let's see if you can keep the face soft while the body is kind of bathing in its own strength. Forehead is relaxed. There's space in between the eyebrows as you press down to the floor to easily lift up. And then placing the knees down, allowing the hips to sink to the floor. Elbows move out to the side so you can place your hands underneath the shoulders. Little baby cobra. Feet hip distance, pressing the feet down, the hips down, elbows point up. And as you press down, lifting from the pit of the belly, allowing the chest to lift, the head to lift, which is truly a baby cobra, which means that it's a small expression of the shape. And then it's a small expression to your capacity. So keeping the length here from the toes to the crown. And as you feel that the hip bones root down there from that spot, in between the hip bones, that's where the lift starts. One more breath. And then as you exhale, release arms alongside the body and turn your head to the right. Let the heels flop out. Prone Shavasana. Similar role as mountain pose has in the standing poses, this shape is our resting pose in the floor postures. So turn the forehead back down to the mat. Turn your palms, so the palms are down onto the floor, fingers point in the same direction as your toes. And then come up onto your fingertips, so wrists are lifted, elbows are lifted, shoulders are lifted. Press into your hips again. Start to lift the thighs away from the mat. So the legs stay long. And if it feels okay, again, from the pit of the belly, you start to lift and hover your nose and forehead over the mat. And if it feels okay, maybe even extend the arms back. So there's no need then anymore for the fingers onto the floor. But find your own version, step-by-step progression. And imagine that even though it's back strengthening, and we're working towards a back bend, you still keep the length on the back. Chin is slightly in, helping you to lengthen not only from the feet to the shoulders, but also from the shoulders to the crown. And then release. Turn your palms and look to your left. Shoulders release. Heels flop out. One breath. Turn your forehead back down. Interlace the hands behind the buttocks. And in the same shape as we started now, we just press the hips down. Peel from the pit of the belly. Thighs lift, belly lift, chest lift, forehead lift. Hands lift away from the buttocks. Then you stay here. But if that is not helpful for your shoulders, our hands can stay down. And you can find any variation that works for you. And we stay here with a smooth and even breath. And where it is a back strengthening posture, the lift is from the front of the body. So you trust the floor with your hip bones, and from there, there's a sense of lightness, helping you to extend and lengthen. And then as you exhale, you release, let the arms go alongside the body, turn your head to the right, let the shoulders release. Turning the forehead back down. And then again, one deeper. Bending the knees so you can hold on to your ankles. Make sure the knees and the feet are still hip distance. Now, either you hold on to the vleugels or the tops of the feet, or if you can get to your ankles, then flex the feet. So the toes are then pointing to the back of the room. Allow the shoulders to open, but start again from your base, your hips. From the pit of the belly, you start to lift by pressing the feet into your hands. The thighs slightly lift up. Belly, chest, head lifts up. Bow pose. So we're moving from back strengthening to back bending. You can make this very small. So my nose is just hovering over the floor. My forehead is just hovering over the floor. And still, from deep down, I feel the lift. So no matter how deep you are in the shape, see if you can feel how there's still length as you start to open. And then last breath. Very gently release, let the feet go. Place them down to the floor as you turn your hands back in, turning the head, right ear into the floor. And then roll over to your back, so the head stays on the same side of the mat. And if needed, make sure there's that one block that was on the front or the back of the mat, that it's still close by. As you bend your knees, we're going to finish the back bending sequence with bridge pose. Yeah, so place the feet onto the floor, the toes slightly in. The feet are on hip distance. And as you press into the feet, the hips tilt slightly back. And allow the hips to come up from the floor, lifting them up, keeping the knees hip distance. Now, either this is great in itself and you feel good to stay, or deepen by rolling the shoulders a little under, allowing the chest to lift, maybe even interlacing the hands behind the buttocks, pressing in the upper arms, allowing the chest bone to lift. But make sure the knees stay hip distance by pressing on the inside of the feet as much as the outside. We go up once today. So staying here, allowing the front body to open. And as I said, you can also use the block in case you don't want to work from strength. And the block can be a nice support underneath the hips. And wherever you are, imagine the tailbone, so it's at the back of the hips, to reach in the direction of the back of the knees. And this will help you to keep the front slightly compact, even though we're going into a back bend. And whenever you feel complete, press into the feet. Maybe take the block away if you were using it and slowly roll down. Make sure the arms are nice and wide. And as soon as the bum touches the floor, stay here. So no need to let the knees rest against each other. You just stay. The beauty of this sequence as we come back to that same resting pose, which actually isn't a resting pose, is that we practice not to have to react. So even though your body might crave the knees into the chest, just stay here, breathe. And then bring the knees into the chest. Hold the back of the knees as we're going to roll up into a seated position. Well, you might want to roll as much as you want to, many times. And then once seated, you walk your hips a little back so you can lengthen the legs. And if needed, placing blocks underneath the knees or maybe a rolled up blanket to help and ease the lift up from the lower back, lower belly. Going for a forward fold. Inhale, arms up. Keep the belly compact as the chest reaches towards the toe. You lengthen and fold forward. Hands can hold onto your calves, ankles, feet. Now roll the shoulders back. Extend the spine. Chest is wide. And from there, legs strong. You might fold from the hips further forward. And so a forward fold seems so easy. Might be all the contrary. So what is it about? You really have to work the legs, building the base, building the strength. Similar to all the standing poses, you have to create a root, a base, to give you length from the lower back. And that length might get you in a very deep forward fold, and maybe not, depending on the space in the body. But it starts from your base, rooting in the sit bones, thighs, calves, ankles. And then as you lift the chest a little more up, release out of the shape. Bend the left leg, knee out to the side, foot against the inside of the leg. And then again, you can support the knee by using a block. Chest stays facing the long leg, right leg. So stay in. Bring your right hand to the outside of your hip, reaching the left arm up. Turn the chest towards the pinky toe as you reach forward. Hand can come to the outside of the foot, ankle, calf. Now first, lengthen from that base, as you might have space to fold further forward. And the right hand back helps you to keep the twist to the right, but if you don't need it, hands can be on both sides of the leg. It's like creating a frame. And so see if that works for you. The strength, the root, the effort. And then from there, the ease, the space, the length in the upper body to fold. Now press into your base, press into your right heel as you come halfway up. And then release. Bringing the left knee up. Foot can stay on the inside of the right leg, or if you have space, place it on the outside for a twist. You can even bend the right leg if you like. Then with the left hand behind you, lengthen. So this time the hand is quite close to your hips. You lengthen, wrap your right arm around, and twist. And so in a twist, we're asking every single vertebrae to move and turn slightly. And you can imagine that that only works if you're not sitting, but you need a little bit of length. So rooting down from the left sit bone, reaching the crown up, and then twisting from the center. And if there's space and it feels good for the neck, then maybe bring the nose all the way to the back of the mat and the chin in the direction of the left shoulder. And look forward towards your right foot. And release. Change side. So left leg is long, right knee bends, foot against the inside of the leg. Any support you might need to help and ease into the forward fold. Left hand is behind, right arm comes up. Lengthen, twist slightly as you reach your hand to the outside of the foot, ankle, or calf. Lift the chest up again. And this way, creating this space to maybe deepen the shape. And so it might be an interesting question to ask yourself where you feel your base. Is that more into the hips? Is it everything that's touching the floor? Where the recommendation is to have the root in both the heel, calf, thigh, hip. And there it creates space. So press down into your base, lift halfway up, and then release. Moving into the twist by bringing the right knee up. Place the foot where it works for you, either inside or outside of the leg. Right hand behind, close to your hips. Lengthen, and then wrap your left arm around so you can twist. And the left leg stays strong. Even though your root might change a little more into the right sit bone, and the left leg is still part of your base. Same as the right foot, flat on the mat. You can even press there a little. Allowing the shoulder blades to stay into the back so the chest stays open as you twist and turn to the right. You might want to enjoy the neck stretch by bringing the head a little further back before you look forward back to your left foot and release. Then as you bring the leg long again, shift your bum more to the middle of the mat, feet flat on the floor, holding the back of the knees. Inhale, one more time, lift and extend up. And then as you round the spine, tilting the hips back, we roll back to the floor. Take the knees with you into the chest. And from here, maybe see, you want to roll a little bit. Could be. You want to circle? Could be. Maybe there is last shape, last movement. Then do so. And otherwise, slowly make your way into that final relaxation with the legs long. And maybe helping yourself for some ease in the lower back by placing a block or a blanket underneath the knees. Now, we will practice a little bit of a breathing rhythm at the end of this class. Even breath. Where the even breath can be found by just feeling the rhythm or by counting. Counting the inhale and making the exhale as long, sometimes longer. So find your way, and if you want to follow my rhythm, exhale fully. And then inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1, out, 4, 3, 2, 1, in, 4, 3, 2, 1, out, 4, 3, 2, 1, in, 4, 3, 2, 1, out, 4, 3, 2, 1, last round, 4, 3, 2, 1, out, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Inhale will come. Once full and complete, exhale will follow. Inhale will come. Maybe open the mouth for the exhale to release. Last one. And with that release, release any last bits of effort from the face, the shoulders, the body, the mind, the heart. As you close the mouth, in an exhale through the nose will find its own natural rhythm. The body bit by bit surrendering to the mat, releasing, digesting. Maybe even integrating everything we've done. We'll stay here for a couple moments of silence and I'll bring you back to close the class together. Now if you have the time to stay in this last pose a bit longer, then just close your computer or switch off the sound. Otherwise, if you prefer to close this class together, then take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Allow the belly and the chest to balloon out. Exhaling through the mouth and release. We do it again. Inhale. Waking up the whole body with your breath to the feet, to the fingers, to the crown of the head. Exhale. Release. Last breath, deep inhale. Bring the arms overhead. Giving yourself a nice stretch as you make yourself long. And exhale, you release. Now, take your time to slowly come back to a seated position by first bringing the knees into the chest. And going in your own pace. Whenever you feel complete, you roll over to the side, where you can press yourself up the head, the last thing to lift. The eyes can stay closed. Hands resting on the thighs or the knees. And then as you place your hands together in front of your heart, thumbs connecting to the chest bone, that center line, the inner X. See if you can feel that deep down inside your body. And then we're going to close with one more breath from there, inhaling, expanding out, opening up. And as you exhale, you release. Thank you for practicing with us. We hope to see you soon. Namaste.